What's up, guys? It's Japa Rico here. Today it's Friday. It's November 29th, 2024 at 4:26 in the afternoon. And let me explain to you guys why exactly I think Bitcoin can experience a huge drop just after it reaches 100K US dollars per Bitcoin. And right now, let me show you guys trading view. Here it's we are looking at a chart. At a chart. I I'm sorry. So we are looking at a chart on the TradingView platform, and right now the price is being negotiated at 27,130 US dollars per Bitcoin. And this was, you know, that we are very close to the all-time high. The all-time high was around 99,000 per Bitcoin. 99,000. Let me show you the data window. So here it took place on November 22nd, and the price has reached 99,800 US dollars per Bitcoin. That was the all-time high price. But if you look at 3 years ago, on November the 8th, 2021, what happened was that, first let me get rid of this. And if you look at the price at that time, okay, so the time before it reached an all-time high was exactly 3 years ago, on November the 8th, okay? So that was November the 8th, okay? So it took place, uh, oh, let me change it to the weekly chart so it's easier to find out. So if you look at the weekly chart, so the last time it reached the all-time high was on November the 8th, 2021. And on this date, the price of Bitcoin went all the way up to 69,000. Okay, so 69K. After price reaches 69K, you see what happened in December and January. So it took place in December. So all-time high was in the beginning of November, so November the 8th, 2021. But 1 month later, if you go to December, you can see this huge drop. And again in January, okay, and then price went a little bit up by the end of March, to then experience once again a huge drop until June, okay, second week of June. And then what happened is that price was like consolidating for a while, and then another drop, and then it has reached at about 15K. You can see that on November the 7th, 2022, price went all the way down to 15K, 15,632 US dollars per Bitcoin. So imagine if this happens again. So, and this time is going to be even bigger, because on November the 8th it was 69,000, and then on June 13th, it went all the way down to 15K. So imagine this huge drop happening in your account if you are still holding Bitcoin. So what I think is going to happen after it reaches 100K is another huge drop. I'm not going to say that it is going to drop all the way to 15K or maybe even lower than that. I'm not going to say that, but at least it has to correct below the 200 EMA, because that's what happened last time. Of course, it doesn't mean that it has to happen the same thing that happened last time, but we can only analyze things that already happened. So we analyze past data, and then we try to calculate and predict what's going to happen in the future. So if you use PVSRA, not sure if you guys are familiar with PVSRA, but here this yellow dotted line represents my 200 EMA, the exponential moving average. And what took place, as you can see, what took place on June the 13th is that it broke this line, went even lower than that line. So here the price of 15K is way lower than my EMA, because my EMA is at 25. So it was like $10,000 lower than my EMA. Okay, but for a long time, price was accumulating below the 200 EMA. To then finally break it on March. Okay, March the 13th, 2023, broke it, and then you can see all these things that are taking place right now. Okay, and now all-time high at around 97. It reached 99 for a while. It hasn't reached 100K yet. But then what happens in PVSRA, and let me explain a little bit about PVSRA for those who don't know this strategy. So after a huge distribution of price with notable volume, and what I mean by notable volume is when volume turns either green or red, okay, in this case green, and then you have a huge distribution of price. After that happens, it's more likely that a correction is going to take place. So when this happens, it was more likely price would then like correct, but it didn't. What happened is that price continued to make a new high and distribute again. And after this distribution, it was more likely in previous area that a correction would take place. It didn't again. It made another distribution, which is very rare actually. So usually after this distribution, what happens is a correction. As you can see here, twice we had this distribution, okay, with notable volume, and then what happened was a correction until here, to then go and make a like a double top, to then another correction. Okay, so after these two green candles, I was expecting a correction. It didn't happen. So after this one, finally, right, a correction is coming or not. Probably not, because the next candle is a bearish candle that is almost turning to be green again, right? And we have 2 days and 5 hours until this candle ends. This candle closes, okay? But which means on the other hand, if this didn't happen, it's more likely that price is going to make a new high, and the new high will probably, well, it has to, right? Because the last time it reached 99K, so probably the new high is going to be 100K at least, right? So if it reaches 100K, what happens is that not only on PVSRA a correction is imminent, okay, probably a correction will come and price will go down, but also if you look at fundamental analysis, what you can see is that a huge influx of positions that are either automate, like they already have their TPs, like they take profit, their targets, a lot of individuals and institutions, but mainly institutions, because the most individuals, they don't move the price of crypto, of Bitcoin or any other assets. Actually, it's more because of institutional like money, right? Unless you are a huge whale like Satoshi Nakamoto or another like huge whale, then yes, then maybe you can move the price, but otherwise you can't, right? Otherwise, most of the influx of capital of like purchasing of Bitcoin is moved by institutional moves. And imagine all those automated scripts setting their targets to 100K US dollars. So when price reaches 100K US dollars, imagine how many scripts automated, okay? Everything that is going to be automated, like automatically triggered to close their positions, those huge like positions, and so many like millions of positions that are going to be closed at 100K. Why 100K? Because 100K is a magical number. 100K has been talked about for years. It's not a new thing. For years, people are saying, financial analysts, specialists, crypto people, media coverage, like media reporters, whoever okay, like the coffee woman down the street, the Uber driver, everybody's talking about 100K. Everybody's saying, oh, Bitcoin is going to reach 100K. So imagine those millions of people, institutions having their positions to be automatically like triggered and executed to close those positions at 100K and take their profits. Can you imagine that? So, magical number, okay? 100K is a magical number. 100K has been talked by the media a lot, okay, by the specialists a lot, by even politicians, even like anyone that you know on the street, okay? And 100K is a whole number according to the theory of PVSRE. We talk about whole numbers all the time. So the number that is that ends with 00, that's a whole number in the PVSRE theory, but you don't need to know that much, okay? So what I mean is that because many positions are going to be automatically executed at 100K and closed at 100K, we can experience a huge like outflux, like a lot of capital being pulled out of the market because of that. And once it happens, we will probably experience like a huge drop of the price of Bitcoin. And of course, there are always losers, right? There are always people that, okay, when price of Bitcoin reaches 100K, let's buy it because it means that from now price will go even higher. There's a lot of losers out there. So I believe a lot of losers will think of doing that. Okay, and maybe some companies, institutions will also think about doing that. I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy. I think it's more likely that once it reaches 100K, it's time to get out. Okay, of course, I may be wrong. This is only my personal view of the market. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe after 100K, price will continue to go up higher and higher and higher. I don't know, okay? But I can only tell you what I know based on past data, historical data, and by analyzing using PVSRA, that's what I see that price will develop in the future. I see this huge drop coming. What do you think, okay? And if it happens, price can move a little bit lower. I would say like by $10,000 lower than the 200 EMA because that's what happened last time. So if you see here, if you look again at the charts, if this happens and price eventually goes to move below the 200 EMA and maybe even lower, right? So that would be if the 200 EMA is around 45, then I would say price can go all the way down to 35K. Okay, so I would say 35K. I would even write it because I would even write it that price can go all the way down to around 35K US dollars. Okay, maybe Japa Rico is crazy. You may be thinking of that now. You may be thinking I'm totally nuts, right? And you have all the rights to think like that. Maybe I am, but I see price going all the way down to 35K. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments section below, and see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye.